We are now just 2 weeks away from the start of the Premier League season, and my FPL draft has changed. This is what it looks like right now. In goal, we have the new man Onana, United's new keeper. Now, of course, he is a little bit more expensive than your 4-5s, but at 5 million, I think he offers tremendous value. Look at those fixtures. They're really actually pretty good for a team that we'd expect to come in the top 4. De Gea obviously got the Golden Glove last year. Onana, he could do the same. Who knows? Now, the interesting thing with Onana is because he's so good on the ball, his pass completion is going to be super high. And for that reason, I think he's going to be really good for baseline bonus and bonus points in general. When United keep a clean sheet, I think that he will be in the bonus. So that's going to take away from the likes of Shaw, who did so well in the bonus last year. And I think Onana could be the one to replace him. Now, look, every year there's always a 4.5 who comes to the 4. But for now, until the first wildcard, I think Onana's a good pick. Also, of course, given that I have a 5 million goalkeeper, I won't be rotating. The 4 million keeper doesn't really matter. For now, Areola looks like he may get some minutes, but who really cares? Now moving on to the defence, and there is one glaring omission. Well, two perhaps. The first is no Trent. The second is no Arsenal defender. This is pretty aggressive as a draft goes, and those are two big players that won't be in there, Gabriel and Trent. So there's going to be some newer, perhaps more differential options. Let's start with a man that's still in the majority of teams, for good reason, Estupiñán. I've gone over the reason why he's in my team so many times before. There's no need to again. Great fixtures, good attacking threat. Simple as that, he's in. The next man in is John Stones. Throughout all my drafts across the summer and pre-season up to this point, I've had no Man City defensive cover, and that hasn't sat well with me. They are statistically the best defence. They rarely concede any chances, let alone big chances. And although last season it seemed as if every big chance they conceded was resulting in a goal, there's no doubt that someone like Stones could accrue a lot of points early in the season. For 5.5 million, for someone that is, very, very likely to get a good number of clean sheets in those first 7 fixtures, that seems like a no-brainer to me. The only reason why he's not been in my team before is because there's been the likes of Gabriel and Trent who have taken those berths. But if I really think about it, I definitely want some City defensive coverage. And if he is going to play more in midfield, in fact, I was just watching a pre-season friendly last night, he steps up, gets involved in the play more, of course, and the ball, when it breaks out to the edge of the penalty area, he is often the one that's there picking up the pieces, having shots. Now, obviously, they're low XG chances, but if you have a defender that is shooting from just outside the penalty area, that is a guarantee in my team. Now, the final defender in this side is a Chelsea boy, and it's Ben Chilwell. Now, Reece James is the more explosive asset, I think we can all agree. However, I'm still not entirely sure about his injury. Yes, Chelsea are only going to be playing 1 game per week this season, well, at least for the start of the season, but Chilwell is more nailed for minutes, and he's having an excellent pre-season so far. I'm not entirely sure what the setup we're going to use yet is. I am a Chelsea fan, but he is absolutely explosive. Already scored a goal in pre-season, flies forward, overlapping, underlapping, he does it all. Looks to be having a really good relationship with Mudryk down the left-hand side. And apart from the Liverpool game, the fixtures are phenomenal. Even past Game Week 7, they are just fantastic. If Chelsea are to start well, I think this man is going to be integral in our early season form. And we've seen it before. Who knows? We may well see it at the start of this season. All central from Ben Chilwell. So there it is. That is the defence. Pretty differential. No Trent, no Gabriel, as I've said. But I think early season, why not have a go? You can't say that having Stones and Chilwell in your team, using that money elsewhere throughout the side, as you'll see later on, is a bad thing. I like it. Let's carry on. Rounding off the defence then really quickly, we do have Bulldog. I think he is very, very nailed for a 4 million defender and has decent fixtures and also doesn't blank in Game Week 2. I quite like that. And then the second man is a new signing for Luton, who goes by the name of Kabore. He is a right wing back that's just been signed. I don't think there's any competition with him in that slot. So a new signing that goes straight into the team. Between him and Bell, I'd rather go with Kabore. Okay, moving into the midfield now. And this is where the funds that haven't been spent in defence come to fruition. Starting off with the man in the thumbnail, it is, of course, Martinelli. For me, the most explosive of the Arsenal attackers. Saka is in there as well, but Martinelli at just $500,000 cheaper. I think there's great points potential early season. Trossard is there, of course, so there is potentially a slight rotation headache, but we saw at the end of last season just how prolific he was. If I go to the last 8 or 9 game weeks, 36 points, 5 per appearance, 2 goals, 3 assists, really doing well since coming back from that injury. And he's guaranteed to start, isn't he? He's guaranteed to start. Perhaps he doesn't have the staying power of an Odegaard who plays 90 minutes every game, but he was so good last year, especially with Jesus back in the team. Their link-up was phenomenal. Martinelli coming inside like a left forward or even a striker, really, doing the business. And I don't see why I wouldn't put him in my team. So 2 Arsenal players and 2 United players as well. This is a very, very stacked midfield. Rashford and Bruno go in. They aren't going anywhere. Bruno I just love as a player. I think if Højlund does sign, that is going to really elevate Bruno's output this season. He actually had a quietly phenomenal season in a fantasy sense last year. Just didn't quite accrue the points that I think his performances deserved. And Rashford speaks for himself. The fixtures for both of them are way too good. Look at the predicted points. Phenomenal stuff. They are both locked. It is worth mentioning, of course, that there are some other fun picks in this price bracket. The likes of Son, Maddison, Foden as well, who could all be in a draft of mine at some point in the future. But for now, these two they're so nailed for minutes, and we know what they're going to do, so they're in. Now, the last player in my midfield right now, as it stands, is a man that has just 3-point-something% ownership. He's very differential as it stands. It is Solly March at 3.2% ownership. It's actually gone down since I last checked, and I don't know why. Luton at home, Wolves away, West Ham at home. Phenomenal opening 3 fixtures. The difference is between him and Mitoma, who is in a lot more teams, and look, I can understand that. Perhaps the more flashy player, perhaps more fun player, perhaps more talented. I don't know. But March's stats, his underlying numbers, the back end of last season, were phenomenal. Now look, it is obviously more risky going with March over Mitoma, but then flip it the other way. The points potential, the differential potential is there as well early season. While everyone else is going with Mitoma, who frankly disappointed towards the end of last season. I think in fact he only scored 1 goal in the last 10 games or something. Let me quickly check that using Fantasy Football Hub's Opta stats right here. As you can see, when was his last goal? You know, I think it was game week 29, so pretty much a long time ago. There you go. Really hasn't been doing the business for a while. Secretly, I think there's also going to be a bit more rotation in those Brighton forwards and midfield slots this year. But March, he's just very good, isn't he? Very, very similar predicted points to Mitoma. And for me, I don't really see a reason as to why one is necessarily better than the other. So I'm thinking, might as well just go differential and try and steal a March over the masses. Now moving on to the forward slots, and to be honest, these guys haven't changed, and I don't really think they're going to. Jesus is the one that is a little bit, I don't know, I don't want to say he's a doubt because he's so good and he started off last season so well. But Arsenal scoring 5 goals in a preseason friendly and Jesus not scoring is a worry. That is kind of his role, you know. As I mentioned with Martinelli, he is a provider in this team just as much as he is a goal scorer. As you can see last year, 31 chances created down here, 7 assists for a striker is really actually quite impressive. He has a different role than the majority of number 9s in the league. But if Arsenal are going to be scoring 3-4 goals per game. I mean, who knows? Forest at home, Fulham at home. They're really good opening fixtures. I don't see why they couldn't do that. And I definitely want triple attack. It's whether you go with someone like a Jesus or an Odegaard. I like that there are a lot of options this year for Arsenal players. I don't know. It's something about the defence that I don't feel 100% confident in, despite the fact that the fixtures are good. Just 3 clean sheets at home last year for Arsenal. That's all I'm going to say. Haaland is in, of course he is. There's no need to even talk about him. And then my final player is, of course, a sub. It's Mubama. And now I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I know I'm probably not, but he is in. He's been showing really good preseason form, scored a couple of goals. According to the model right now, very few predicted points, of course, as we don't think he's going to start. But out of all the players at that price, I think he is the most likely to get on the pitch, first of all, which is, of course, very important. And then I'd say score. It's between him and Cameron Archer, but for now, Mubama is in. So there we go. That is the team. Haaland, of course, is captain. And as you can see, according to Fantasy Football Hub's My Team rating, I get a score of 97% here. 96% for the game week with 68 predicted points for game week 1. But an overall team rating of 97%. Given there's a few differentials in there, the likes of Martinelli, March, Chilwell, no Trent, and Onana as well coming into the team, it shows that you don't have to go super template, in my opinion, to get a really, really solid team for the start of the season. Guys, if you think you can beat my team rating of 97%, there's a few percentage there to be played around with. Get down below in the description, click the top line. It's completely free to do this. And yeah, have a go. Put your players in and see what team rating you get. But don't just take it from me. Here is a man who knows a lot about football, having played the game at the highest level, And even he is saying that the hub is the place to be this year for fantasy football content.
Want to beat your mates at fantasy football? I've got a little secret for you.
Fantasy Football Hub provides the artificial intelligence, recommended transfers, expert team reveals and more, all designed to help you win your mini-league.
Big beats.
If you don't win your mini-league, we'll even refund your membership. Sign up today for 50% off. Terms apply.
So there we go. If Micah Richards is saying it's worth signing up to Fantasy Football Hub this season, then come on, you got to listen to the man. He knows what he's talking about. Terms and conditions do apply, but as was mentioned right there, 50% off pre-season if you sign up right now. And also, if you do not win your mini league, you get all your money back. That is a phenomenal deal. Now, one amazing thing that you do get if you sign up, which I personally love, are these AI recommended transfers, which I've got up now for my own team, the draft I just put in. Sadly, it says that Onana has to go, and he's the crux of this new draft. So that makes me sad. It really does. But the beauty of the AI is that it has no bias. It just says objectively what it believes to be best, looking at all the data. So Onana goes for Edison. It makes sense. City are a better defense than United, at least statistically. To fund that, Chilwell goes to Pinnock, which is a name that I really haven't seen touted that much at all. And then with that extra cash, Martinelli goes up to Odegaard. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Martinelli for me is a much more explosive pick. As I mentioned, Odegaard will get more minutes, especially across the season. But early on, I'm quite happy to punt on Martinelli. I think he's got a higher goal threat, and I think his ceiling is higher than Odegaard's. Chilwell for Pinnock? I don't know. Edison for Onana, fine, I can hold my hands up there, but I'm not sure if it's worth the extra 0.5. So there we go. That is going to do it for my current FPL draft. Let me know down below in the comments. What do you think of it? A little bit different, a little bit more aggressive than a lot of drafts I'm seeing, with a few differentials, mainly Chilwell in there. Loads of people on Trent, which I fully understand. I know I could get burnt by him, but I love Chilwell, and I think he's going to absolutely fly, especially at the start of this season. Once again, if you would like to have a go at anything you've seen in this video, the links to all of that are down below. Click them and they'll make your life and your FPL season a lot easier and better. Trust me, if you want to win your mini league, Hub is the place to be. With that all being said, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon with a brand new video.